SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.
I'm Steve Azar, and I'm on the other side of the microphone, meaning I'm asking the questions this time, and oh, have mercy for the airwaves. I spent 20 years in Music City, wrote and made some hits, traveled the world, and then moved my family back to the birthplace of American music and where the magnolia trees prosper. And now every time I put my feet on Mississippi soil, when I'm off the road, well, I'm at peace. On this show, it's all about hearing the stories straight from the mouths of the friends I've made along the way, their journey to success. Heck, there might be someone on, I don't even know, but you know how us Mississippi types are. We tend to take well to new company. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them. I'm Steve Azar. It's just like that muddy river, moving slow. Ain't no worries, it's how life goes, baby. In a Mississippi Minute.
Time for another In a Mississippi Minute. Grateful for you guys tuning in as always. I'm Steve Azar, and you are on a Mississippi Minute into my 8th year. Crazy. I want to preach the gospel of Mississippi, which is a beautiful thing, by the way. Church is in session and held every day of the year in Mississippi. Just go outside and soak it in. Today we're going to go to the Gulf Coast with my dear friend. We'll get to that in a second, but go to visitmississippi.org, celebrate who we are, which is pretty dang cool. My guest today, like I said, a good pal, former president and publisher of 3 Gulf Coast newspapers. I don't know how he did it. The Sun Herald, the Press Register, the Times-Picayune. I mean, who doesn't want to say the word Times-Picayune? It's my favorite thing. But after saying so long to an incredible award-winning career, I might add, a lot of awards, he took a break to enjoy his family and the great outdoors, which he still does, but we return fairly quickly to his very popular daily show on SuperTalk Mississippi, the Ricky Matthews Show, and he's also a viable voice for the great outdoors, that's for sure. He loves his outdoors and hosts SuperTalk Outdoors with Ricky Matthews. Won't be long as an author for his first novel, and a lot is going on with this man, his family, his love of Mississippi, and I love going on Instagram and checking out his posts where I feel like I'm stepping in right there into his world, looking over the glorious Gulf Coast daily. My pal, welcome in, Ricky Matthews.
Hey, Bob, my friend, how you doing?
I'm good. Before we got on the air, we started talking about health benefits. People can't see you right now because, you know, I'm the only show not on visual yet, and I don't want to hear you get me in trouble. I think Will's about to get on to me enough that we're going to figure it out. But right now you're wearing a pretty good muscle shirt. You're 1,008 years old. No, okay, I'm kidding. But I asked you, were you taking any pellets or testosterone because you're built like a rock star? I want to talk to you about your regime. I want to talk to you about the importance of it, and when did you start getting in shape?
Well, that's an interesting place to start. Look, I was a paramedic early in my life. I went to University of Alabama in Birmingham and was a paramedic for a while. I was going to be an emergency room physician, was well on my way, to be honest with you, and then realized death and dying wasn't for me and changed my major to business, and kind of the rest is history. But during that time, you know, I got a chance to see what happens when you don't take care of yourself. And you know, watching people in the back of an ambulance, you know, praying that they would live, knowing that they probably are not going to, you know, that has a way of affecting you. I was a young guy experiencing that. And then when I was 21, I found my father dead. He was only 44 years old. And, you know, coming out of all that, I decided that I was going to do everything in my power to take advantage of what we know about, you know, living healthy. By the way, when you make a decision to live a healthy lifestyle, it also affects your mental health. So, you know, that those things kind of go hand in hand.
No doubt.
You know, you got to get your mind right to get your physical body right if you're going to do it over the long haul. So in 1980, that was in 1979. So in 1980, I started exercising and learning about exercise, working out with weights and other stuff. And then I never stopped. I literally never stopped until, you know, still now. You know, I ran high intensity training this morning, and you know, I work out with weights. I do high intensity training. What I do is essentially I'll walk briskly for a minute, and then I'll run for 30 seconds, and I'll run as fast as I can run for 30 seconds. and then I walk for a minute, and then I do. But the goal is to get your heart rate up as high as you can get it, and then you come off of it, walk, run, then brisk run again. And I have gotten tremendous benefits from doing that. But along the way, I've just learned how to eat, and I've been very conscious about in my working out. I've been able to really, for the most part, escape any kind of serious injuries. And a lot of people who work out weights, they go out a little bit too hard or do it in a certain way, and they don't make adjustments as they get older. But I'm still doing pretty heavy weights, but not as heavy as I used to. And I just stay focused on it. And the other part's eating and getting plenty of protein. Protein is important for all ages.
I agree. I'm hearing so much about protein now you could overdo it, can you?
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, you should shoot for, like, okay, I weigh 180 pounds. My goal weight, let's say I wanted to get to 170, I don't really want to, but let's say I did, then you should get enough grams in protein of whatever your goal weight is. So theoretically, I should be, if I'm at 180, I should be getting 180 grams. Mm-hmm. But anywhere between 120 and 150 grams for me is fine. But as a general rule, people don't get enough protein. That's the bottom line. Yeah. Or if they do, or maybe they don't even know if they're getting in it. They don't even know what they're getting. A lot of people don't track stuff and don't pay attention to it. What I've tried to do, I've used a Fitbit app, and I'm almost anal about the way I do it, but I've entered everything into an app, and it teaches me it helps me learn about how to eat properly and all that kind of stuff. And it's worked for me. I mean, I've learned a lot about what we eat and how we eat. And I do intermittent fasting in the morning. So when I get done eating, the last thing I have to eat at night is around 7. And then I'm going to eat again till 12 the next day. And I do that every single day. I don't eat anything in the mornings, and I haven't.
I'm a little bit off of what you do. We're probably 7:30, 8 at night. Yeah. And then we are 11 to 12, probably sometimes 1 because I don't get to it. Yeah. But don't eat until then. I didn't know that was even the word fasting at all. I love that. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just not a big breakfast guy,
There's a lot of good science around it. And I've done the 72-hour thing a couple of times, and there's a lot of health benefits from doing a long, it's a water fast essentially, where you're drinking water but not eating for 3 days. And doing that periodically, but really.
How much weight do you lose, and is it all water?
Yeah, usually it is, and I can lose in that particular scenario. I can lose up to 5 pounds, but three of it's going to come back as I start to eat again. But it's
I would eat a bucket. I'd eat a bucket of chicken right after that. I mean, I couldn't. I mean, I would. There's no chance that I'm not running directly to Popeyes or churches, and I want tons of chicken.
It's interesting for people who've done it. They'll know what I'm about to say, but you're kind of hungry the first day, but then your body starts to make adjustments. And funny, you really don't, your cravings kind of go away a little bit, and you start feeling better. And then the third day, it's just kind of the same thing. You're even feeling better. You're thinking clearly. It's amazing what it does to you. In fact, you wouldn't eat chicken coming out of it, because when you read about how to do a 3-day fast, what you learn is it's important how you come out of the fast, and that you ease back into eating again. And you'll learn this as you go through learning about 3-day fast, if you ever did one, and because it will affect you. The other thing is you're not in a rush to eat when you come out of a 3-day. It's not like you sense that you would need that bucket of chicken now, but funny, you don't feel that way coming out of a 3-day fast. It's an odd thing.
The only fast thing that I'm going to do is race to the chicken place. I can be fast. No, seriously though. So you got me hungry right now. I'm scared. But Kevin James, Gary Valentine. You've met Gary. Have you met Gary, my buddy Gary?
No, but I've heard you talk about.
Yeah.
Him a
so
lot,
Kevin, obviously his brother, he fasted for 41 days without eating.
Yeah.
Now, wild? 41 days. He won. He's a very, very, very spiritual guy. Mm-hmm. He doesn't talk about it publicly, but he lives it daily, and it's a beautiful thing. But I'm saying, like, how in the world? Second of all, how do you lose water weight when all you're doing is drinking water? I mean, I know it's something. Adrian, my doctor son now, goes, Dad, come on, here's the deal, and I'll go like, I don't even want to know. Let's take a quick break. I'm with my pal, Ricky Matthews. I know he's in shape. I'm looking at him. You guys can't see him because I am the only unvisual Super Talk radio show. I am like cutting edge is what I am in a primitive way. I don't know, but I know visitmississippi.org. There ain't nothing primitive about it. Celebrates who we are. They're going to be, Ricky, at the Rose Bowl parade coming up. We got a cool float. You know, B.B. King celebrating 100 years birthday. We may dive into a little bit of that, but there's some things online that you've been posting from some of your radio shows that really intrigue me. Let's take a quick break. Ricky Matthews is my guest. The Ricky Matthews Show on SuperTalk Daily and the SuperTalk Outdoors, with Ricky Matthews. I'm Steve Azar. That's Ricky Matthews. I'm Steve Azar. We'll be right back.
Mississippi till I'm dead and gone. Won't you carry on? I'll carry on. Mississippi, Mississippi. Mississippi.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
You already know that Madison Cellars is Madison's favorite place to buy wine and spirits since 1988. On Highway 51 in the Madison Station Shopping Center, Madison Cellars has a hometown feel with a big city selection. Do you have a question about which wine to serve with a certain dish? Call 601-856-0931 and let their knowledgeable staff help you find the perfect match. Find out more at madisonsellars.net or stop by today. Madison Cellars on Highway 51 in the Madison Station Shopping Center.
Hi, I'm Donald with Entergy Mississippi, and I'm a customer too. I'm proud to say our rates are 20% below the national average. Every day, our team is focused on keeping costs lower for you. We take affordability personally because this is our home too. So we work harder and smarter to fight rising costs while also improving reliability for years to come. This isn't just my job, it's a commitment to my community. Together, we power life. Entergy.
Nowadays, customers are searching online for the services they need.
Are they looking at your business?
Having a mobile-friendly website can really help you win new customers. Let SuperTalk Mississippi Media create a great-looking and very affordable website for your business. Plus, studies suggest that a well-written radio ad can lead to a 20% lift in traffic to your website. Just call SuperTalk Mississippi Media today at 601-991-2305 or go to stmmdigital.com.
Patriotism is alive at A Complete Flag Source. Honor those who serve our country year-round with a U.S. flag made here in the USA. We are ready to help you with all your flag needs. We have all kinds of flag poles, spinner poles, boardroom poles, in-ground poles from 15 to 150 feet, which we can install at your home, school, church, or business. So shop local at a 25-year-old family-owned business. A Complete Flag Source, 5295 I-55 North in Jackson, 601-362-9333, or CompleteFlags.com.
Hey, this is Bob, and if you're like me, you like dealing with local people. Majestic Metals was founded in Mississippi in 1954 and are headquartered right in Gluckstadt. For complete metal building systems and steel roofing and siding, call the hometown folks. Majestic Metals, 800-647-8540 or online at majesticmetalsinc.com.
Garden Mama here. Lakeland Yard and Garden Center has what you're looking for in its full-service nursery and garden center, greenhouse, and garden shop. Meet the professional staff at Lakeland, always ready to help you with trees and shrubs and patio furnishings, tables and cushions for entertaining, as well as pumpkins and pansies, plus soils, mulches, and amendments for your landscape and container plants. Lakeland has seeds and plants for your fall vegetable garden, too. Listen to your mama now. We're growing your way at Lakeland Yard and Garden Center, Lakeland Drive and Airport Road.
Do you have transportation needs? Excavators, bulldozers, loaders, tractors, you name it, we probably can move it. Give us a call today.
When it's time to haul, we're ready. Call 601-540-5052 or visit us online at southeasternservices.com.
In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Rocking with my pal Ricky Matthews, Ricky Matthews Show on SuperTalk, SuperTalk Outdoors with Ricky Matthews. Learn with Ricky Matthews. Watch Ricky Matthews run. There's all these shows that haven't been invented yet, but it's a matter of time. He told me, speaking of, real quick, visit Mississippi.org. We're on the Gulf Coast with Ricky. If you guys ought to follow Ricky's posts on social media, it's just a lot of beauty. It's what he's seeing in the morning, just our Gulf Coast. And I know that after Hurricane Katrina, and obviously Camille, which he was a little kid back then, but Hurricane Katrina those years later, and having to be involved so heavily in the rebuild, I know that when he wakes up in the morning, he sees that as it is today, so beautiful. I know that how much he appreciates what he's looking at. But I have a strange feeling in the back of his mind, there's always the vision and the visual of what he had to endure, him and his friends on the Gulf Coast. I know that that's a memory that can't be erased. Visit Mississippi.org. Don't erase it. Take a road trip to your Gulf Coast. Check out Ocean Springs. I'm a fan. Incredible places down there in Biloxi and Gulfport and Pascagoula and so on. So check it out. Ricky, let's jump to the book right now because that's important. We revisited the anniversary 20 years ago of Hurricane Katrina. The crazy thing is I was doing One Mississippi with your grandchildren. Keith, your son-in-law, is there, Williams, who is inducted into the Hall of Fame. I used to watch him roam the football fields back in the day in the Delta. And seeing him, knowing you now like I do, and them singing One Mississippi with me at an event celebrating Hurricane Katrina, which is the last time we did it was in Oxford on TV. It's the most surreal, weird thing I can tell you. But your family's beautiful, crazy, athletic, talented. We know that. It runs in the gene on both sides of the family. I want to talk to you. Take me back to when it happened, because you and I have had discussions on and off the air, but this book has a lot to do with it, and where you are in that process, and how do you feel you guys are now as far as the revitalization? Is it finished? Are you done?
So, okay, all good stuff. Of course, with the 20th anniversary, it was great to see you singing with my granddaughter, Riley. It was so awesome
Riley,
to see
she's so
that.
Sweet. Good golfer, by the way.
Yeah, she's got a beautiful swing. She got a tournament. She got a tournament coming up here soon.
She won in Greenville.
She did.
That was a big tournament, by the way. Scotty Scheffler used to win that tournament. So.
Yeah. So we're going to watch her and hope she does continue to do well. But when you're, as you and I have discussed before, we live on Back Bay, and when Katrina hit, we nearly got washed away. And when you're experiencing something like that with your family, and you're just praying that you live through it, you come out of it on the other side with just this chronic reminder of what in life is really important. All the things in life that you think are important suddenly aren't important anymore. And then, my work family, watching what they went through and having the opportunity to work with them as we essentially helped each other get through it as we served the community. But it was amazing to watch so many people come together. And I'm talking specifically at the Sun Herald, who overcame incredible personal challenges in order to tell the story. And, what I say, feeding hope back to coastal Mississippians that needed hope. And that's what the newspaper did. And I started capturing those lessons. And, my book is finished, and we are in the editing process now. But it's Finding Hope is the name of the book. Lessons from life's hardest moments. And it was inspired by Katrina for sure, because all these incredible lessons. Obviously, lesson number one is your family is your foundation. But all these great lessons that I wrote in the months after Katrina, and to put them into a file, and that's where they stayed until my wife urged me to pull that file out. I just didn't realize that since then so much new inspiration has occurred. I tell some of my story, growing up with dyslexia, my father's death, my own heart stopping along the way, being a paramedic and the experience of watching other people at that ultimate crossroads in their lives, experiencing Hurricane Katrina and the lessons from that. But then other incredible people that I've met, veterans that have had very significant trauma and mental health challenges and how they got through it. A severe burn victim that went on a global crusade, somebody from Mississippi, incidentally. And Emmett Benoit, a teen suicide attempt survivor who's gone on a national mission to help other young people. All these stories come together in these 26 lessons of hope. And, you would think, man, there were books about hope. And there are lots of books that talk about hope in different ways, but there's not been a book written specifically in this way, how to find hope in life's hardest moments, whether it's a tornado disaster or the floods in North Carolina, or whether it's losing a loved ones, or just a teen trying to face social media pressures and all that comes with that. Mm-hmm. It's a reflection. And then at the end of each chapter, each lesson, there's actions you can take now, right this minute, to make a difference. And there are reflections, just a short reflection about that lesson, and then we move to the next lesson. It's been a very cathartic experience for me, but it was guided in a lot by what I learned after Katrina. As it relates to the coast, I think we've done a great job of recovering. I mean, if you think about it, we had the real estate boom or bust in 2008, if you remember, and the effects of the market. We had insurance crisis we had to face in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. But in spite of all that, I think the rebuilding has been great. And it will, it's always going to be a work in progress. We always have more work we can do, and there's more opportunity. I think these days, maybe the biggest opportunity for coastal Mississippi is economic development. I think what we need to do as a set of communities is, we're already the economic engine that drives Mississippi, but I think we have the opportunity now to start thinking about how can we diversify beyond government and gaming. We have military bases, we have shipbuilding, we have Stennis Space Center, we have all that, that's the government piece, and then we have gaming. But gaming is going to be a lot of competition for gaming, and there's a lot of competition for government funds. Mm-hmm. So do we always want to have our eggs in those baskets, or do we want to think about what's the next big thing for coastal Mississippi? And I think it's actually in advanced manufacturing. We got a lot of land here. We got great ports. We got great people, wonderful quality of life, great standard of living. It doesn't cost a lot to live here. All those things play for us. And I've been really urging the region that came together after Hurricane Katrina to come back together again and form some sort of alliance that can get us focused on diversification. And I think with economic growth, we'll continue to find new people coming in here. So exciting times ahead.
You just answered one of the questions I was going to go further into detail, but this is one of the posts you made. Coastal Mississippi is a region overflowing with possibilities, but we must also face the reality that we are underperforming in key areas compared to other Gulf South regions. It's time to roll up our sleeves and push harder to reach our true potential, not just ourselves, but for our children, not just for ourselves, but for our children and generations to come. More on this to come. Can you, you just did. You just elaborated your concerns. I want to ask you in particular, maybe on the other side of the break, is there anything you see? But you may have answered that as well. Let's take a quick break. Ricky Matthews show daily on SuperTalk Mississippi, SuperTalk Outdoors with Ricky Matthews on Monday. Is it Mondays, Ricky?
Yes, Mondays.
And he's got 14 other shows that he's conjuring up. I know he is. There must be 7 of them. I don't understand. But speaking of 7 things to do this week, go to visitmississippi.org 7 times, plan 7 road trips to some places you hadn't been to Mississippi in a while, and get ready to feel pretty dang good about your Mississippi. I'm Steve Azar.
Way too long, but you held my hand and led me home. Fine. available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Nowadays, customers are searching online for the services they need. Are they looking at your business? Having a mobile-friendly website can really help you win new customers. Let SuperTalk Mississippi Media create a great-looking and very affordable website for your business. Plus, studies suggest that a well-written radio ad can lead to a 20% lift in traffic to your website. Just call SuperTalk Mississippi Media today at 601-991-2305 or go to stmmdigital.com.
From the Seabrook.
Check one. Where's all my volume?
In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Section 3, we're rocking. Can I call it Section 3? I guess I can. It's some part of 3. I don't know anymore. All I know is I have a dear friend of mine, Ricky Matthews, on board, on the show today. We've been on many times. Every time he asks me, I ask him. Every time I ask him, he asks me. So you're going to hear a lot from both of us together, which is a beautiful thing. I always love catching up with him, and this is always my best opportunity. Speaking of opportunities, plan a road trip to your Gulf Coast where Ricky Matthews, his wife, and family live and dwell, except for hunting season. He's down in my neck of the woods because this man loves the great outdoors. Speaking of Super Talk Outdoors, with Ricky Matthews and the Ricky Matthews Show. You can hear it daily on SuperTalk Mississippi. Go to visit Mississippi.org. Celebrate your Mississippi. Ricky, we were delving into the very end of talking about some economic possibilities. Where do you feel like, and what Gulf Coast regions are you comparing us to that you feel like we're missing the boat just a little bit? Pardon the pun.
Well, if you look at, let's just talk about opportunities for a second, and then I'll compare it real quick. But in terms of opportunities, I think we have to get way more aggressive in dealing with shovel-ready sites, so mega sites like they've done in the Golden Triangle area. What the Golden Triangle has done, it's become a real best practice in Mississippi, building these massive, with utilities ready to go and these shovel-ready places to attract major industry in. And that's such a successful story, such a best practice in Mississippi.
Can you back up for a second and explain shovel ready a little more in detail?
Yeah, it means what they do is they buy a bunch of land, hundreds of acres of land, and then they make sure if it's got rail and it's got power, it's got all the the other utilities, so that when it's shovel ready, it's ready to go. So when a new client comes in there, industrial partner goes in there, they don't have to go through think about how long it takes to do that, because you got to purchase the land, you have to create the right of ways, you got to do all this stuff.
You can shop and go.
Yeah.
Right. Shop and build.
Yeah. Strategically, it takes years to get there, but you got to get started at some point. And, industrial partners, especially in a world that's moving really fast right now, they want shovel ready stuff. You're going to be competing with other regions like in the Florida Panhandle has done this on a massive scale. And Savannah, Georgia, for example, you asked for a comparison. What Savannah's done with their economic development, regional economic development area organization, working with their state port there, they have Hyundai, one of the largest plant in the history of Georgia in that region now. So Huntsville, when I was in Alabama, Huntsville newspaper reported me. I spent time at the base there, and what they've done in Huntsville, the focus that they've done is truly remarkable, and just continues to expand and get bigger and bigger. And you saw the Space Force headquarters has been moved there. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable. So when you get focused in that way, we've got Stennis at Space Center, and I think this Stennis has the sky's the limit on Stennis. It's already. Our forefathers were smart enough to set all that buffer zone aside for being able to test engines and whatever, but the opportunities to grow at Stennis are incredible. So it's there. We can do it. We just got to get our heads together and decide we're going to do it. And right now, each county kind of does their own thing. And when there's a client that needs us to think together as a region, somebody's got to cobble us all together, because you got airports, 3 different airports, 3 different ports, 3 different economic development organizations.
Everybody seems to be competing most of the time rather than sort of coming together.
County, they do compete with one another, and they will come together if they have to. But
it's the way it is down here.
Yeah. So what, like I hear your brother mention many times. But what they've done up in their neck of the woods to bring that region together, they've got legislative approval to be able to do it.
Yeah,
it's
Joe
smart.
In Batesville, Mississippi, Panola.
It's very similar to what they did in the Golden Triangle area.
Yeah,
that's the way you get successful. You get together, you promote the region, you come together as a region to on the big stuff, especially.
I told Joe. I told my brother Joe there. He's in Batesville, folks, and Joe. Just hearing and seeing Batesville and knowing that Oxford is and school is really it's blown up. I mean, things no matter what part of the country you go to, you're hearing about state, you're hearing about Ole Miss, people wanting to go to that quality of life and have an education down in the South, and we're prime territory for parents and kids. And I get to see those parents and kids. I'm going, hey, my kid's going to one of our big donors, Alabama, Georgia. Their whole family, their whole lives. They live in Atlanta, from Georgia, from Alabama. That's all they do, eat, drink, and sleep it. And now their grandchild, their first child, is at Ole Miss right now.
Yeah.
So and they had to go to do hotty toddy the other day, and they've never enjoyed that. Now they have to. And and I love that about that. Let me just ask you this: grow or die? You hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously, Oxford, Starkville growing, and I think they're doing a really fantastic job of still looking like it's so homey and inviting and warm and hospitable looking. It doesn't look too big. It still feels like Starkville, Oxford. Hattiesburg still in Southern still feels like Hattiesburg. I mean, so they're doing a great job of that. But the coast, could you overdo it? Could you overbuild? Could you lose some of the beauty and the peacefulness and tranquility that it offers?
I think that's always possible. But if you talk to mayors along coast of Mississippi now, and you look at you're already beginning to see softness in their budgets. So they're having to cut already. I mean, we've got to think strategically. But I mean, right now, I'm talking about the tactical decisions that are having to be made. They're having to cut now to make ends meet. So I think we're a ways off from having that problem. Think about it, though. The state's largest employer is here, Ingalls Shipbuilding. We have Bollinger Shipbuilding. We have Chevron. One of the most important refineries in the entire United States is right here. Stennis Space Center and all the blue chip industries that are part of that. I mean, it's unique in itself. The state port of Gulfport. I mean, just look at it. And listen, the state port of the Pascagoula port is one of the most strategically important ports in the United States. Like, it's in the top 10 because of petroleum products that are coming through there to go to Chevron. And they've got expansion opportunities there that are really dynamic. But if you think about AI and robotics and all of that, the manufacturing that we have today is not where we're going to be able to lean on to get all of our growth. We're going to have to think about other stuff. Gaming, we can't lean on gaming to get growth, because the competition from gaming across the United States is not going down, it's going up.
Yeah.
Especially with sports gaming and online sports gaming and all of that. So it would be easy to get complacent and say, hey, we're already the economic engine for Mississippi, and we are. But how do we stay the economic engine for Mississippi? We have to grow, and we have to diversify. With the next Hurricane Katrina hits, are we assured that all the casinos will come back like they did before?
You're never assured of anything. You guys have lived this. I mean, if you go from Katrina, if you go from Camille to the time when Katrina, and now Katrina, and unfortunately, we know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's going to happen, because it's just going to happen.
I think what we built into our system is resiliency. In other words, our infrastructure is stronger now.
A lot better now, right?
We'll be down the bridges, for example. You like Ocean Springs, going from Biloxi to Ocean Springs. Yeah. That bridge is not going to go anywhere. But the thing is, though, we have to think about growth. And there's also another challenge, and that is workforce is a challenge. But it's not, when we start talking about workforce, like in Jackson County, finding shipbuilders is a challenge for them. But if you do a national understanding of what's happening around the United States as it relates to shipbuilding, shipbuilders are getting older, they're retiring. It's hard to find young folks to come along. It's a national challenge finding shipbuilders, but that's not the reason to not want other industry. There are some forces here that doesn't want to see new growth because they're concerned they're going to lose some of their employees. And I get that.
Yeah.
But I got my region hat on. I got my how do you stay economically healthy hat on. And what I see when I do that is that we're not working fast enough, hard enough, big enough, on a long enough, strategic, timeline, and we're not working together enough to develop a vision that gives us tremendous growth opportunities in the future.
Ricky Matthews, I'm learning all sorts of stuff like I usually do. Hallelujah. I love getting smarter every day when I'm with him. It's a no-brainer, pardon that pun. Speaking of no-brainers, please visit Mississippi.org. Take a ride on the Blues Trail. You'll end up in Liverpool. I'm Steve Azar with the wonderful Ricky Matthews.
There's too much more at the end of the money.
$20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Nowadays, customers are searching online for the services they need. Are they looking at your business? Having a mobile-friendly website can really help you win new customers. Let SuperTalk Mississippi Media create a great-looking and very affordable website for your business. Plus, studies suggest that a well-written radio ad can lead to a 20% lift in traffic to your website. Just call SuperTalk Mississippi Media today at 601-991-2305 or go to stmmdigital.com.
Here's John and Steve Azar right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
When I was 16, I knew everything. Opportunity grew on trees. I'd taste them, waste them, do it all again. 10 feet tall, invincible. I fell short on principle.
It's always too short, no matter how long the segment is, or short the segment is, always too short with my pal Ricky Matthews, a future novelist that's going to be out soon. I can't wait to get it and have it showcased in my studio with my prized possessions. That's going to be one of them for sure. I'm going to put it right next to John M. Barry's Rising Tide is where I'm going to put it. Right by there. I'm telling you, right there. Ricky Matthews is my guest today. He knows all things. Visit Mississippi.org. He celebrates that through the Delta and his wildlife show on Super Talk, his hunting, his love of nature, his love of Mississippi, period, the environment, and everything that goes along with that. And also, growing up on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, he appreciates beauty like, he gets to watch it every morning. And it's like God's doing a different painting for him every day, and he gets to take witness. It's beautiful. Visit Mississippi.org. Visit your Gulf Coast. All right, Ricky, you were on recently with Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith, and you're talking about my neck of the woods especially. I was talking to some farmer friends of mine, and you were talking about a couple things, but that was one of the hot topics. The other day I was talking to them. Their crop looks as good as it's ever been. Obviously been lack of rain again, 3 summers in a row. But they've got great crops, and there's no price that works out for them. They were always dealing with either Mother Nature, or they got to pay for Mother Nature through watering and all that irrigation, or they finally have a great crop after spending all that money, and the numbers don't add up when they finally sell, and that's a gamble. What's the skinny for my farmer friends that are roaming the fields right now, just finished in harvesting time, and wanting to hear some hallelujahs.
You listen, my farmer friends tell me the same thing. It's it's unfortunate when you're dealing with 3 years of challenging situation, whether it's challenging farming conditions or the economic situation is not working. And when you add to that Delta Grain going bankrupt, and so many farmers kind of left holding the bag on that, that adds even fuel to the fire. I went to pick up some seeds at the end of the deer season last year, and the guy at the seed store told me that this year coming up, that more farmers are going to have to put their houses up as collateral than ever before. Now that's scary. You're going to see some guys probably losing their farms this year, and we don't want farming families to lose their ground, man. Not in a bad time. We need them to be healthy. So Cindy Hyde-Smith, this is not a political conversation. I'm just telling you what she told me, but she has incredible awareness of what Mississippi farmers are going through, and she has good communication with President Trump. They have a close personal friendship. And then she also has a good relationship with Brooks Rawlings, Secretary of Agriculture, Brooks Rawlings. And more recently, obviously everyone is saying that there's been tremendous focus on some kind of a farming plan that would enable farmers to be able to draw some money down to buy some time. The thought is, what China has done, incidentally, has hurt our farmers in this retaliation around the tariffs. The hope is that will settle down, and eventually we'll get other trade barriers going down and create some new markets. Maybe things will open back up with China. Everyone seems to think that we'll get through this rough spot, but in the meantime, the federal government's going to have programs to help farmers stay whole. Let's pray that happens fast enough, and that it happens before banks start calling in loans, because there's going to be some tough roads ahead for some farmers if they don't figure that out. And then let's pray that these non-trade barriers that are coming down, and maybe the situation with China can improve, and we can get back in a situation where the prices are where they need to be.
You talk about Delta Council; those are great folks. I've been in the room with them. Came in and played them. I think I played them one Mississippi when it was the bicentennial song, not the state song yet. And went in there, just talked to them. They wanted to just have a moment break away from what they usually talk about. So they bring in my crazy self to sort of why I moved back home and all that. But farming and it's been a lot of the fabric of what I've talked about, the people that farm, the characters, and obviously I always say that without our agriculture, without our arts, and without that river, we're nothing. But with it, we're something else. We're something else, man.
Aren't you right about that?
We're something else, man. All right, we got to go. I love it. You got to go check up on your body parts and go to the doctor, and I'll be thinking about you. But I love you, pal, and I appreciate you always taking time to catch up, especially in front of our fine folks in Mississippi that you do daily.
Love you too, my friend. You're a good one.
Blessings.
Thank
Ricky
you.
Matthews, folks. Novel's coming out soon. Can't wait to get that. It's going to be special, and he's a special man. Speaking of special, go to visit Mississippi.org and plan a special road trip with your loved ones. I'm Steve Azar. Later on.
I'm Steve Azar. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them, where you can take your sweet time.
Nowadays, customers are searching online for the services they need. Are they looking at your business? Having a mobile-friendly website can really help you win new customers. Let SuperTalk Mississippi Media create a great-looking and very affordable website for your business. Plus, studies suggest that a well-written radio ad can lead to a 20% lift in traffic to your website. Just call SuperTalk Mississippi Media today at 601-991-2305 or go to stmmdigital.com.
A SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.